So actually the next tool is from tab project refresh. This is really important tool that you'll use it frequently in every project that you're working in. That this tool is both in tab home or for example quick access toolbar. We have both of them, or also we have it with shortcut F5 that it will exactly do refresh. Refresh means actually the time that you are in software of Navisworks, you are actually working on a file that it has NWF format. The model has been exported from different actually softwares, or for example directly you've opened the WG file as an example, or other formats. For example, the time that you open that file, actually you will see it will create NWS format and it will be open. When you save it, it will be NWF. So in the time of that you're working exactly on your Navisworks file, for sure other teams or designers are working on the model of that file exactly, or that model will be developed or it is edited, I don't know, and some other things. So if we want actually to match or for example update these changes into Navisworks, we will use refresh. As an example, let me go to selection tree window. Let me click on pin, and I will hide the architectural file in here temporarily. Yeah. So let's assume that the structural file has some changes. Yeah. So let me open Revit structure and let's go to the structural file of that. As an example, let's see the beam system in here. Let's click on it, and for example, let's change the distance of them. For 1200, for sure we will have some new beams in here. You will see some new framings in here. Or as another example, for example, in here I can just match this section to this section by match properties, or match them as I told you. So we did these changings. So we want to have, of course, we can have these changes in other sections too. So we want to see these changes. We want to update these changes in Navisworks Model 2. We need to export NWC from this file. Let's go through exactly that folder. NWC folder, file, NWC, and exactly I will go exactly on that file and I will save it on that file structure. So I will click on save. We'll see it in the message. So we'll say yes, override it. And then we'll wait that this processing is done. So after actually exporting, we'll go through Navisworks. So we want to see do these changings happen or not. So we will just press F5, or I don't know, refresh, or here there's no difference. We'll click on refresh. You will see that the model has got updated, and very easily, less than a second. It happened for us, and it's really perfect. Or even, for example, if you delete the model or add a model, every kind of changing that happens by a refresh, it will be updated under the condition that the NWC model is existing and it's got loaded here. So if we have a file here like AutoCAD or any other softwares, directly you will open AutoCAD file. I mean, you don't have a NWC format, you will directly open AutoCAD. So as an example, in this file, so I will draw a kind of box, for example 0 and 0 for coordination of that. QC, enter, and let's consider the dimensions. Let me press F8, for example 2 and 2 by 2, for example. Here let's go to the view southwest here, and let's go central, for example. Let's consider here, let me save it, and then I will go in DWG folder. In the path I will save it, DWG here, and I will name it Q, and then I will save it. So let's go into Navisworks. You know, we've got familiar with sheet browser. Let me just click on it, and let me put it in the corner of the screen to see the windows better. So let me just minimize it a little, make it smaller So, and we'll go to the folder that we have the DWG file that is good saved. Let's put the sheet browser here. Let's return to the last folder, DWG. I will go on sheet browser. Let's click on import. Then we'll go to the file DWG, and it will just find DWG format from this list, and then we'll import the file. If actually finding the DWG file is a little hard here, or it takes time, you can just click on file name and press star, and it will know all of these formats. Cubes open. So since actually it is a kind of AutoCAD file or native format file, it is DWG. So we will have a symbol here. When you have this symbol, it means it needs to turn it to the NWC. When you click on it, at first, let me double click on it. At first, actually, it will create the NWC format of that, and then it will be opened. So for under any reason, for example, under any condition, we have any changings on the AutoCAD file. Let me just, for example, I don't know, make it bigger a little, or let me just, for example, draw a cylinder here, like this. I don't know, and in the center of that, like this, we'll create a shape like that. And as an example, in the end, for example, we will associate them with each other, stick them together. So I will click on save. If right now I will click on refresh, we'll see exactly that again. It will just read it from the native format of here, and it will show and display it to us. So let's maximize it, and we'll see that this model has happened like this in here. So wherever that we like, we can click it, and exactly based on the need that we have, we can control it. So let me just click on back, cancel here, and let's go back again on the model, and this is like this. So again, I can come back to here, and so the model is staying here or existing in here. So like this, we can use refresh. So actually, by using the tool of refresh, you're able see the last changings that have happened, for example, in other models and other softwares in your model exactly, and you can check them exactly in your model.